Lautaro Martinez gives Inter Milan the 1-0 win on the night, 3-0 on aggregate, and they go through to the final, their first Champions League final since 2010, and just too much quality, too much strength in depth for AC Milan to cope with tonight. It wasn't just the better team won, the superior team won over two legs, and I don't want to discredit, and I don't want to talk AC Milan down too much. I don't want to be disrespectful, but they didn't really lay a glove on Inter in 190 minutes if you put all the injury time together. They didn't lay a glove. There was one decent chance for Diaz in the opening sort of 10 minutes. There was a decent run from Rafael Leao with a shot that just went wide, but I personally think the goal would have been disallowed for offside, for handball anyway. But over the course of two games, into the superior team, they go into the final. And listen, most people are already writing them off, but I want to get your take. I want to get your views and your opinions. Remember, we are sponsored by the brilliant people at Tops Now. It is the very best place. If you're into sporting collectibles, Tops playing cards, I love them. The new semi-final range are going to be out in a matter of days. I know a lot of you have already gone on there and bought some brilliant cards recently. Get yourselves across to their website now and get yourselves signed up. Get a 10% discount as well when you do that. So the link's in our description, or scan that QR code as well. There's actually some available right now. They've just released some new ones, actually. There's some brand new ones out now of Edin Dzeko from last week. There's a brilliant rare card of Vinicius Jr. as well, and one of KDB's Rocket as well. So lots of new cards out. You've only got about 6 or 7 days left until they stop selling them. So get across at the end of this stream, buy Tops now. Go and get that done. Did I hear the news? You should be following me on Twitter. Of course I heard the news, my friend. Of course I heard the news. But we'll touch on that. We'll talk about that maybe a little bit later. Of course, we're going to respect the teams that have played in a Champions League semi-final tonight. But yeah, look, brilliant performance from my point of view, again, from Inter. Now, it was a low-quality game from AC Milan, but Inter didn't need to risk anything. I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, oh, I want these teams to attack. And then I deeped it for a second. Why would Inter Milan take any risks? They just sat back and they absorbed. And when I look at this Inter Milan team, listen, there's some players in there I want to talk about tonight. Lautaro with his 25th goal of the season, maybe his most important goal of the season. A brilliant display from him. Edin Dzeko's done very, very well. I think Brozovic came on and played well. Barella gets a lot of credit always, but Bastoni at the back. I rate this kid. And I say kid, I actually don't know how old he is. How old is he? 24. That's definitely a kid to me. What a player. What a player he is. What a bright future he's got. Now, he may stay in the Italian leagues. He may stay with Inter. But I see a player there that, in my opinion, I think he could play anywhere in Europe. And I'm not trying to disrespect Serie A. I'm not trying to disrespect the Italian league. But there is a serious player in there. And I also was quite impressed tonight with Lukaku when he came on. I thought he looked all right, you know. I thought he came on, and I thought he did a good job. So, listen, whoever Inter Milan get in the final, it's going to be a tough game, whether it is Real Madrid or whether it's everybody's favorite, my favorite, to go through Manchester City. Inter Milan have more of a chance than AC Milan. That's my evidence over the past two games. But it's going to be a very, very tough game indeed. Very, very tough game indeed. Someone here says Inter are a terrible side. 7-0 to City if they played them in the final. I don't know about that one. I can't imagine there being a Champions League final that's going to be that heavily weighted in either way. Lautaro was exposed in the World Cup. Terry, stop gassing it. Lautaro's got 25 goals this year, and he picked up a goal in the semi-final Champions League tonight. That's getting credit. Him not having a good World Cup doesn't make him automatically a bad football player. There have been many players over the years that have been world-class, and I'm not calling Lautaro Martinez world-class, that have had bad international tournaments. It does not mean that they are not world-class stars. So for me, I don't think you can just judge a player purely on a bad competition that they had, although his team still went on to win it, and he was part of that squad. So I don't think he probably personally cares. The World Cup, 7 games, and of course we praise the people that do brilliantly through it. But You know, you could look at Enzo Fernandez as an example. Look at what he did at the World Cup. Look how he's been since Chelsea. Not been the same level of player at all. So I don't think you can solely judge on that. In my opinion, just how do you coach only 5 shots on goal over 180 minutes? I genuinely hire Conte, just sack him again. Look, I look at it this way. When you look at AC Milan, they. I mean, they only had 5 shots tonight. How many shots they must have had more than 1 shot in the last game. Can't be 5 shots over 180 minutes. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just didn't even realize that. But they've got quality in their team, but there was no belief. They didn't think they could do it. That's what I saw tonight. It's the Italian league. Who cares? Talk about the Qatar bid. Nabil, we're here. We're sponsored by Tops. We're talking about the Champions League. We'll touch on that a little bit later. Please respect the channel, my friend. Seen Champions League final script. Milan win 1-0. Lukaku dagger. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Lukaku bang bullet header in the 96th minute. That'd be crazy. Terry, will the final be at Istanbul or will it move? Well, there has been rumors that it may move due to some unrest due to political goings on in Turkey. I hope that it's resolved by then because I hope the people of Turkey don't have any unrest and I hope everything's well and good within their capital and country. But if it is moved, then there are loads of countries around Europe, loads of cities around Europe that could host it in a weekend. It really isn't going to be that big a deal. The only problem is all the people that book their flights and hotels, they're going to be massively out of pocket. So I think UEFA will do whatever they can to get it on in Istanbul. But of course, safety of traveling fans, players, delegates has got to always be the priority. But I'm going to bring Mo out now to have his say with me on the show. Make sure you smash the like and the share button. But just take a little look at this when Inter Milan scored.
Lautaro! El Toro Martinez! Lukaku pass and El Toro finishes! El Toro Martinez! What a goal by El Toro! And what a game! This is Inter and we are in the Champions League final! Absolutely brilliant by this Inter magnificent team! Fantastic! We are there! Istanbul, here we come!
Welcome to the show. Hey, it's nice. I like seeing that passion. I love that passion, Mo.
Oh, man, I couldn't believe it. Listen, I've waited 13 years for this, since 2010. I couldn't believe it when we scored, to be honest. But to summarize it, you said it perfectly. We just did enough. Inter didn't need to do anything special today. Milan had no teeth. Milan, I don't know, they wanted to play their game. They wanted to cross to Giroud, but he was marked really, really well. And Inter didn't need to press. Inter didn't need to do anything special today to see out this game. And you saw it, 65th minute, Lukaku comes in, bullies the defenders. It's simple. For this guy, when he's fit, he's kind of like a truck, an 18-wheeler going at your defense. He's so big, so strong, so quick. And he just bullied the defenders. And I love this guy for one reason. He always plays for Inter with passion, Terry. And I think the Chelsea guys just didn't get that from him. There's a difference when a player like Pogba, when he played for Juventus, he had this passion, wanted to play, went to Juventus, disrupted with injuries and stuff. Lukaku is a weapon. If you know how to use him, he's a weapon. Look at his numbers for the Belgian team. It's great. I know that people want to say Inter are weak, but to be honest, we have absolutely great midfielders. Like this Hakan guy is not bad. Even Brozovic, one of the best registas, he's the only one last year who could have controlled Liverpool midfield in the first leg. He's great. He's very good. Look, he reached the final with the Croatian national team, leading that midfield. And look at him last World Cup. I think this Inter team out-fancy our chances. Anything can happen. Chelsea, when they won against City, they were the underdog. Defended the whole game, created one chance, scored. And you can defend. I've seen stranger things than Inter win the final in the Champions League because people are saying 7-0. Come on, give me a break. If we lose 7-0, we shouldn't be playing football. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't see you losing 7-0 in a Champions League final. You're definitely the underdog, whoever you face. There's no doubt about it. But for me, in the last 2 games, I watched you play, and you're right. That defensive, resolute, strong team. Bastoni at the back, I think is a star in the making. I know he's only 24. Maybe because Serie A isn't as popular as it used to be, people aren't watching it in the same numbers. So maybe he isn't quite getting the credit. I can see why Tottenham wanted him, and I'm glad Tottenham didn't get him because
They didn't pay the money.
well,
They
yeah,
didn't.
he's a game-changing centre back. He's very, very good indeed. Who do you want in the
Real
final? Like
Madrid.
right now, you want Real Madrid though. You prefer Real
100%.
Madrid.
Nobody wants to play Man City, and tactically, people don't watch Inter. We're very good when you give us a chance to play our football, and Real Madrid will get us such a like they give you the ball. They get it. Man City are gonna put us under pressure from the first minute. They want to have the ball and all this stuff, and we're not blessed with pace. And you saw it, Dzeko and Lautaro, they're not blessed with pace. But when you give them the ball and you play in tight spaces, look at Lautaro's finish today. Look at what he did in the 18 in the first half when he dribbled Tomori and Tonali in the 18, and the shot didn't come off. But on the counter, I don't think we're gonna get exposed if we're playing the counter because there's no pace. But if we get Real Madrid, I think we have way more chance playing Real Madrid. I know people say heritage and stuff, but again, listen, it's a different game in the final. Champions League final, guys. Look at the Milan Liverpool, the 3-3 one. Look at the City Chelsea. I've seen really, really strange things happen in the Champions League. It's one game. I know Man City will be way more nervous than us if we play them because the pressure will be on them, right? Imagine if they don't win it.
Yeah, look, there'll definitely be massive, massive pressure on Real Madrid or Man City in the final. I wanted to ask you about Lautaro Martinez because he's a player that's never really moved me. He's a player that I've always watched and thought good, not great, but I've been really impressed with him in these last two games. What did you make of his performance tonight, his goal tonight?
Clear number 9. Like Lautaro for me is not someone who suits the way sometimes interplay. We get put under pressure sometimes. He's a true number 9. Like put him as a number 9. He will get you these sometimes flicks and tricks inside the 18. Look at the finish with the left foot. He's not a left-footed player. And that finish. And I think Lautaro Martinez is a good number 9. Remember, he's not that old. I think he's 25, 26, if I'm not mistaken. And he hasn't peaked yet. Even though the numbers are there. 20 plus goals in every season of the last 4 years. Can you believe that? If I told you this without you knowing the numbers, you would say, no, you're lying. How is this guy getting 20 plus goals every year? He is. Somehow he puts in the numbers. I'm not his biggest fan, even though I'm an Inter fan. I'm not his biggest fan. I criticize him a lot because I want better. But this is what we have now, and he's delivering on the big stage. He delivered this year in the Champions League. So I'm just going to take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm someone that isn't sold on him. I wouldn't gas him up as being one of the best strikers in Europe.
No.
There's talk of Spurs and Man United a couple of seasons ago spending 70-80 million pounds on him. That's a massive no from me. And Ivan Toney better, in my opinion, in terms of being a Premier League striker. But I thought he was very impressive in the last couple of games. And I'll always give credit where credit is due. We have some super chats here. The first one says Aubameyang, who won La Liga and contributed well. Lukaku in a Champions League final and Defo contributing to their form. Chelsea need to learn the problem was us.
I said that, Terry. I want to respond to the super chat. I said that you got you remember he was one of the best 5 strikers in the world and they didn't use him as much as Timo Werner came from the Bundesliga. I think the problem is at Chelsea's system to use a striker because he was still banging goals for the Belgium team and he came to Inter when he's fit now. You said it. He looked all right when he's fit. So I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, bad fit. Bad fit has done it. There's no doubt about that. I pray Inter wins the Champions League final. All the best from the Bill. I think the world would want, I always want underdogs to win unless my team's in the final. So, yeah, I'll be supporting Inter, whoever they're against. Martinez must have called up Messi on what does he have to do to be his pupil. Messi said, just win and do great, all whilst wearing his Man City kit to support Julian Alvarez and Pep. Is what Debbie has got to say to us there. Thank you for that super chat again, Debbie. I appreciate it. Lukaku winning a Champions League. I mean, that would, if Lukaku was to do it, I mean, especially if he scores, it would rub salt into the wounds of Chelsea fans in a horrendous season for them. But sometimes football does that. Inter can keep Cheeseburger Eddie. He suits them.
Who's Eddie?
I think he means Lukaku, like Cheeseburger Eddie. I don't know who that is. I'm assuming cheeseburger because he put a few pounds on.
Yeah.
Chelsea beat Real Madrid and Atletico City 4-0 versus Inter is what D's got to say here. That's a big prediction. We're going to add a few more people into here as well. We've got Gio, who is, of course, a Milan fan, and Andrew's with us as well. Gio, from your point of view, another really poor night overall from AC tonight.
Yeah, Terry. I mean, I just want to say, like, shout out to my team. I mean, we couldn't create anything, but at least we didn't go down, like what, like the P word. But I mean, congratulations to you, Mo. I mean, your team invested, and that's the thing. They went for bankrupt, and now it's repaying them. The quality that you guys had. I had never paid attention. It was like you were interchanging Goosens for DeMarco, the strikers, and you know what? They deserved it more because Jekko wanted it the most, Terry. I never seen nobody like Jekko play out of his world. He was defending, he was going all the way, like, as a center back. Then he was like passing up our defense. It was just crazy. Somebody at 37-year-old we're doing. I mean, we're a young team, but we got to learn. But now we, like a lot of fans, that Diaz miss, man. Mo, I don't know if you watch any of Milan content. I always get trash talked to me because I say he's not good enough. I'm a little bit older fan. I'm a little bit older fan than a lot of these young guys on Twitter and stuff like that. But
I've got a question
today,
for you. I know it's hard. Sorry to interject. I know it's. Let's maybe ignore the greatest Milan teams of all time, and maybe some of your greatest players. But is there a single player at Milan right now who is genuine Milan standard?
I think just Rafael Leao, but I mean, he wasn't fit. I said it last week. He wasn't gonna be fit. I knew it. Too bad they got sick. But what did we do when we got chances to score? What did we do? We shot it straight at the keeper. I mean, other than that, probably Theo. I mean,
Hernandez. Yeah.
Three
yeah,
players.
but
Mike Magnan can be one of the best goalkeepers in the world at the moment. His
yeah,
save percentage is crazy, and also his ball distribution. Theo Hernandez, I think, he's the best left back in the world by far, in my
he didn't show
opinion.
it today, Mo. Today, I'm
Yeah,
very
but he
disappointed.
was.
He's
You
one.
remember, like he was marked, like very
No, he
tight.
wasn't Mari. He was scared, Mo. I'm gonna call on my players. He was
Do you
scared, bro,
know? Do you
and
know that Theo Hernandez is only 24 years old?
it doesn't matter, Mo. I expect more than him and everything, especially in knowing that he was the first to renew with us. A player that gave us everything. But just that Leao Magnon and Theo Hernandez. And then, as you guys see, we don't have a number 10, and we don't have a right wing. If Callum Hudson-Odoi wants to come play right wing, I'll take him. But Chelsea, you got to pay like 80% of his salary. We have a DHL delivery driver as a right wing. That's how
Oh,
bad it
Terry,
is.
you didn't know that, right? This guy 3 years ago was a DHL delivery guy, Junior
Yeah.
Messias. I'm not kidding. This is not a
No, we're
joke.
being serious.
It's not a
No, we're
joke.
being serious.
Wow. And how old is he now?
I think
30, I think. Yeah.
it's 31, and he got called to the Brazilian national team in an Asian. Yeah, this guy was a DHL delivery 3 years ago.
Yeah.
The problem with that is, and this is not a dig, but fair play to him. There's nothing wrong with that job, by the way. But where is his football? Where's his schooling of football? The problem is, if you're that late in your career, one of the biggest reasons why, and he's a Serie A player now, but one of the reasons why Chris Smalling was always a little bit janky is Chris Smalling had no academy training. He came kind of through Sunday League and then a bit of like semi-pro and non-league. And I would remember listening to one of the coaches at Man United, I think it was Rennie Millenstein, speak, saying, we're working really hard. And the problem is there was no base ground for his footballing ability because he wasn't taught as a youngster by professionals. And there was always there was a naivety, a lack of tactical awareness because he wasn't playing at the right level. That's a problem. A skill. I mean, I didn't even think, listen, you can learn a lot on the streets, but still that you get taught, like, football's different now. Football is so system-based compared to 20 years ago. You need to be in academies younger. I didn't know. That's a madness to me. Winter Surfers here. What are you saying, bro?
Yeah, congrats, Mo. Inter were the better team. That they just strolled it today. Really, they could have. I don't think they really got out of third gear. Really, they weren't made to. thought Milan's, like I say, Leao wasn't fit, but they still tried to go through most of Leao, which is a tactic of theirs when they tried to play us. So it's one of those. And like you said, there's no other option on the right. It's just literally down the left, and let's see what we can do. Let's hoof the ball up, which let's see if Leao can do something, which he nearly did in the first half. It was a great run. He just hit it just wide. But Inter Milan, yeah, they did very well today. Very, very well today. Lautaro Martinez, since they've given him that armband, he seems to be a different player as well. Since they've given that captain's armband, he seems to come alive a bit.
80 million, he's your striker next year. 80 million pounds is your forward next year.
What?
Mo,
An Argentine
but
player
Lautaro
being
was
linked to
hot
an
and cold,
Argentine
though.
manager? How surprising that is happening. That's both of them rock up. Yeah, both of them rock up. No, but Inter Milan were great today. Like I say, Bastoni, he's a Rolls Royce of a defender. He looks like an old one of the. But he just looks. He could fit into any team. I think Bastoni. He just looks. He can just do whatever. And Dzeko again leading the line. Dzeko was extraordinary today. Was he 35? Something like that. They had
No,
Giroud, who I
37.
love. They both 35-year-old strikers. One looked younger than 35. One looked older than 35. But Dzeko was just great today. And like I said, Inter were just far better. They won us in the first leg. Really, if we think about it, they wrapped it up, and they were just trying to hit them on the counter attack. And I got to say though, I like Mike Maignan, but I've got to question him on that goal though. It was right near the
very
near post.
questionable.
It wasn't like a really hard shot. Do you know what I mean? It was like easy save, but it doesn't matter.
He got sold, didn't he? He got. I'm not going to plagiarize. Glenn Hoddle called it, and then I watched, and it looked like Lautaro was going far corner. The way he set himself, and then he got caught out. But having said that, the save he made in the first half from that header.
Oh, outstanding!
Why are AC Milan defending so deep? I couldn't believe it. Like, again, you're taught not to do that as a 10-year-old. I couldn't believe they were sitting so deep.
My thing with AC Milan, I think you're in trouble if you're expecting Tonali to start all of your attacks. AC Milan.
It was supposed to be Brahim Diaz, and
I know
the people that don't know.
He ghosted again. Again.
No, he didn't. He was just more. Do you know that Pep Guardiola had to choose between Brahim Diaz, Jadon Sancho, and Phil Foden to stay in Manchester City, and two of them were going to be sold, and he chose Phil Foden. Brahim Diaz was sold to Real Madrid, and Jadon Sancho was sold to Borussia Dortmund. And that shows you that Pep Guardiola had a vision, to be honest, because the one who went to be more successful of them is Phil Foden, and I think he's the more talented guy. Even though, by the way, Brahim Diaz was one of the superstars in the Man City Academy.
Yeah.
And when because this is why he went to Real Madrid. Real Madrid said, we're getting this guy. He's going to be a superstar, and he didn't turn out to be. He's still on Real Madrid squad, to be honest. He's on loan.
It's a 2-year loan deal, isn't it?
Yeah. So it tells you that, to be honest, like this Man City Academy produce good players, but it's who takes you to the next level. It's Pep Guardiola. Being coached under Pep Guardiola is something else, to be honest. I'm just afraid of one thing, that our route to the final is not great, is not the hardest one. And I've learned through the years that when you have the toughest route to the final, you most likely win. Like, look at Liverpool last year, look at Chelsea before, like Real Madrid, like last year they beat everybody. We didn't beat a lot of, like, one of the teams that with great heritage, Benfica only, probably. Milan even, to be honest. I didn't think Milan had a chance in this game at all, by the way, because I know how weak they are. Just to let you know that before this game, Inter in the last 8 games, our aggregate score is 18-0, and Milan is 0. Just before this game. So we're plus 18 and in Milan. So we are in a great run. We've kept like 7 clean sheets in the last 8 games.
Well, no wonder I wasn't totally aware of that. So no wonder they struggled against you tonight, because there was a lack of, and this is no disrespect to your system, your performance, it was very good, but there was a lack of belief from the AC Milan players. It reminded me, now that I know that, it's like when Man United go away to Liverpool at this moment in time. There is such a psychological block when we go there.
Yeah,
I almost expect a defeat before we kick a ball. And of course, you guys didn't get battered by stupid goal margins.
No, it's us in the last 8 games, not against Milan in the league.
Oh,
and
sorry,
all the competition.
Somebody said earlier that in Milan derbies all season, AC haven't scored, and I thought you were referring
No,
to
they did win the. I think
Okay,
they did score.
okay, but my apologies. I literally
But
thought
you can imagine
okay,
you going in a Champions League final and your goal differential is 0 in the last 8 games. You're like, you always score and concede. But Inter, we don't concede, and that's what gives me hope. As you said, strong defense might win you the trophy. Just if you keep the clean sheet in the final, anything can happen. Can we keep it against the Haalands? Can we keep it against Benzema and Vinny? Listen, everybody counted us against Liverpool, and we went to Anfield last year, 1-0 up. It had to be a red card for us to be out of the game completely. That stupid red card from Sanchez. And anything can happen. I'm not gonna say, but I'm afraid of the easy route. I'm just gonna say
I hear you on that. Kieran here says, Terry, what's the code for the 10% discount? There's no code. When you scroll down the screen, there's a little box to sign up with your email address. When you sign up, they send you the 10% discount through, my friend. So just give them your email address and you get that 10% discount code. And if you scroll down, if you just scroll down under the options, you'll see it. It says sign up today and get 10% off. Just put your email address in and sign up through that, my friend, and that'll be done for you with Tops. Now, Israel here says, are Italian teams back or will they fall off next year?
They're not back because there's no financial backing. It's still so here's the thing. If Inter wins the Champions League, I think we're gonna get sold to the Bahrainian investment fund again, and now there's money coming in the club. But if there is no money coming in the club, there is no way we can pay wages. There's no way we can compete with the Premier League. Nobody can compete with Real Madrid and Barcelona, of course. But Italian clubs are not back because there is no money. So this is a simple answer.
Yeah, I agree. I don't look at, with all due respect, Napoli look very good, but they're very good. They're going to get their squad over the next couple of years taken apart. So they're not going to maintain it. Osimhen's probably going to leave this summer. According to reports, Man United are very close to a deal to Kim Min-jae. You take those two out, they ain't, in my opinion, they're not replacing them with players as good. So,
but someone will buy Cravadonna in the next 2 years.
Yeah, next couple of years, yes. Yeah. So Italy won't.
If he continues, it's
about at the end of the day. It's always been about money, or at least in my lifetime. When Serie A was the best league in the world, it had the most money. So it wasn't just because. And when you have the most money, you have the best coaches, you can all the best players, and it helps.
We broke the world record twice buying Ronaldo from guys. Just for people that don't know, in 97 or 96, we went to Barcelona and said, "How much do you want for this guy for R9?" It's like they said, I think it was 38 million euros at that time. It's like, here you go, it's 38 million euros. Give us your top scorer, the best player. He won Ballon d'Or that year, and we Inter bought him. The money was there.
I don't think people remember between sort of like in my lifetime, most of the 90s and up until like 06, 07, the Italian teams. That 15 to 17 year period, Italian teams, in my opinion, were the overall the best. Of course, you had Real Madrid and Barca doing their things, and of course, you had Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund were very good in that time period too. There's a couple of French teams good around that time. Marseille, I think, in the 90s were pretty good, but the Italian teams, AC, Inter, Juve, Lazio at that time, they were just next level, and beating it. Like, I don't think people realize when you beat an Italian team in that era, especially if you went to Italy and won a game, it was looked at different. It was looked at
from 93 to 99. There was an Italian team in the Champions League final every year. how?
Yeah, that was their era. So yeah, when I say back, no, not until I mean they're not there yet. Who would Inter prefer tomorrow?
Yeah. We answered it's Real Madrid. For me, as an Inter fan, I prefer Real Madrid because they will give us a chance to play football. Listen, there are levels to this. Man City now are on a different level than everybody else. Everybody else in the world. They're the best team probably I've watched.
Yeah, I mean, this City team. Tomorrow night's game is going to be really interesting because I've been sitting on the fence with it, but I'm going to make the prediction: City win by 2 to 3 clear goals tomorrow night. They 2 or 3 clear goals. And I know people they always go English bias, Terry. Something to do with being English bias. Like, I don't want City to do it. I do not want them to win. But they beat them, although they got knocked out last year, they got battered and beaten 3-1. City are even better this year. City win 4-1, 3-0, 3-1. It'll be City scoring at least 3 goals tomorrow night. There's just no
Let's
way.
just call it as it is, Terry. It's going to be an upset if Real Madrid win at the Etihad tomorrow.
Big upset. Even with all the heritage, there's just a difference. And they were at the Santiago Bernabeu. It's a different feeling. They were away at the Etihad, the light show before. City are doing it. City are doing it tomorrow night. So it's going to be an Inter-City final, in my opinion. And then I'm just going to be sitting there on the edge of my seat. Honestly, that day I'm going to watch Godfather. I'm going to eat Italian food. I'm going to drink red wine, play Mario Kart. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to do everything, everything that's Italian that I know. I'm going to make a pizza. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to eat some Rossi's ice cream. Rossi's ice cream is banging, by the way.
I'm going to pray to the Italian football gods.
Yeah, I'm going to be Catholic for a day. I'm going to do whatever I need to do. Whatever I need to do. Man's going confession.
Can I ask you something, Terry? If you win against Man City in the FA Cup final, would you still root for Inter in the Champions League final?
Yes.
Really?
I'm from a school of belief that you never support a rival in their endeavors unless their endeavors benefit you, because I don't want any English team ever winning the Champions League, barring Man United. However, if you get a Chelsea City final, I prefer Chelsea to win, but I don't want either to win the damn thing.
Do you remember in 09?
I never want City to get a Champions League, because every year, and this is not salt, this is just fan fact, every year they don't win it is a big failure because of the money they've spent. Them not to have a Champions League, it's a form of banter for them, and I think that they are fully aware of that. So yeah, I want it to continue. I'm so desperate for them not to win it, irrespective of that FA Cup final. And that's just me being a Man United fan.
I don't think people understand that. It's like this is weird thing. Some like English, like, oh, we've got to support the British teams. No, when Barcelona knocked us out in 09, when the referee should have given us a couple of penalties, I still supported Barca against United in the final. I'm not supporting another English team. What does it do for me? Do you know what I mean? What does it do another English team winning do for me? It doesn't do anything. That's why I don't get. It's like, oh, we got to support all the British teams or stuff like that. I mean, Mo, would you support AC Milan?
I would take it to a different level. Listen to me. And I said, this is something people don't understand. This, I support Inter, right? And I watch every Premier League game, most likely over the year. I watch every game. I don't want anyone else to do another treble. It doesn't matter if it's Man City, Man United. The people that already did it. Barcelona, Man United. I'm not gonna root for City to do a treble. I don't want another team to go in the same category with me. I'm proud of my team. We did treble. People say, why you're against City? You should be a neutral. You're successful now. You're the best team in the world. You spend a lot of money. I'm not gonna root for you. You're not an underdog. Are you gonna sit here and tell me because you haven't won it before you're an underdog? You're not. You win the Champions League, you can talk to me as an Inter fan. I don't want that. I'm sorry.
Mate, and this is the way it works. When you look at who's done a treble, who's done the treble, who's won the treble, not a treble, the treble. This is on the official UEFA website. Celtic did it in 67. Yeah. Ajax in 80. Sorry, Ajax in 72. People don't realize PSV Eindhoven 88. Man United in 99. Barca 09. I mean, the fact they got done back-to-back years is crazy. Inter in 10. Munich in 13. Barca again in 15, and Bayern Munich in 2020. So 2 teams. You actually look at the clubs that have done it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clubs. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 6 clubs of 7 clubs. I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clubs have done it, and 2 have done it twice. You don't want anybody else being added to that, because you know what? This is what's mad. The more clubs you add to it, the lesser the achievement. Because if it becomes something that isn't scarce and rare, how hard is it? If you eventually have 80 teams have done it, I'm being very facetious there, it's not as good anymore. It being something that's very rare. You know, I want to be, and you actually break it down, only 1 team from Scotland, 1 team from England, 1 Spanish team, 1 Italian team, 1 German team. So at least domestically, no one else has got it. Yeah, you want nobody else to be added to that. No one. Why would you? It's crazy to me. Debbie here says City, and it's not even close. Maybe a blowout. Terry calls the Pope if City goes through. Listen, if Italy win, I will. I'll try and get the Pope on the show. We'll see if we can get the Pope on to have his say. But I don't even know if the Pope is Italian, by the way. I don't know if
he's not.
Probably not. They very rarely are. I know theoretically, he doesn't even live in Italy. because the
They
Vatican,
outsource that job. Anyway.
the Vatican isn't even Italian. It's Vatican City. It's its own country, isn't it? I swear I read that somewhere. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
it's an own country. It's
Got
not an
its own
Italian
Starbucks.
country.
It's got its own Starbucks.
Yeah. He's not even in Italy, let alone Italian. But there we go.
But for tomorrow's game, though, where can Real Madrid win the game? How? I'm keep thinking about a way that people say
How they
Real
win
Madrid
it.
will win the game. How did you win it?
How they do it is very much how you beat Barcelona in 2010. Defend resolute, and a little bit of luck, and a goal on the counter. They need a goal on the counter, and it needs to be the defensive performance of their lifetimes. And then they're going to need a little bit of luck. They're going to need someone goes clean for on goal, and it needs to be an accidental handball. There needs to be, like something that rules it out. It has to be a little bit, just how, when Spurs knocked them out, Spurs scored goals, but Spurs got lucky. You look back now, look, what's his name?
Do you remember the offside goal with a 1 foot? Yeah.
Well, Llorente's goal could have been disallowed because it hit his arm.
Yeah.
And then, yes, it was offside, but it was marginal. Like Spurs got lucky in the end. And that's how they do it tomorrow. I don't think they can outclass, outplay, outperform City from an attacking point of view in any capacity. So they need to be defend resolute, a goal or two on the counter, and then a little bit of blind luck. That's the recipe. That's the cocktail.
But if I'm gonna pick a team to beat City at the Etihad in the world, it has to be Real Madrid with the quality, with finishing. Like if I was gonna hand pick a team to play Man City, drawing 1-1 at their home, it will be Vinicius Junior, it will be Camavinga, it will be Toni Kroos and Modric. I wouldn't pick any other team to come back against Man City. I don't know. I'm rooting for Real Madrid because I think I think they're the easier team for us as Inter in the final. Man City, if they go to the final, they're going to be a different animal. And tomorrow, listen, Real Madrid, they have the quality to do it, but City are just the better team. People just don't want to admit it. On the internet, people don't want to say it, like heritage. Oh my God, Real Madrid. City are the better team. And they were the better team last year. They lost it on small details. They were the better team on 170 minutes. And I think it's Man City's game to lose. Pressure is on them. 100% pressure is on them. Nobody tells me that we haven't won it before. No, pressure is on Man City tomorrow to win at the Etihad. You got to draw against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. You got to win tomorrow at the Etihad. Nothing other than this, you're failing.
Yeah, failure, yeah. There's a bit, and then the question marks are on the manager again. If they don't get through tomorrow, the question marks are on him again. Because arguably, this is his, like you said, Mo. You're saying you're watching them and they're the best team you've watched
Ever.
Right, that's right. So, in your mind, then you're the best team. They're the best team watched. If they don't get through, the questions are on the manager. No matter what happens tomorrow, the questions are: why can't you get Man City through? Why you got them? Why can you get them through? Unless there's some sort of like red card or something like that. When they're down to 10 men or last minute penalty or something like that. Something ridiculous. But if they get actually knocked out like they did last year, because you said they might be the best team 170 minutes again, Mo, but they could get outdone in 10 minutes.
Yeah, and that'll be huge. There'll be huge ramifications and fallout from that. Nabil here says, I know what Terry is doing, upsetting the football gods. I'm sorry, Real Madrid, but you can't upset the football gods by making a false prediction because the football gods know when you're capping. I genuinely believe City will win tomorrow. Now, I can sit here and talk and go, how would Real Madrid win? And I believe, and Real Madrid have got the ability to, and it could happen. But I'm going for a solid City win. I hate saying this. I'm so convinced they're winning the Champions League this year. It's unbelievable. But if I'm wrong and my prediction's wrong, you ain't going to see me give one damn. I'm going to be celebrating like I just won the Champions League. He says, I'm sorry, Real Madrid is a different animal when it comes to the Champions League. Real Madrid will not be easy for both. Real Madrid will not be easy for both teams. I'm not saying it's easy, but they beat them 3-1 last year when I think Real Madrid were better at the Etihad. The only difference is, and this is again fair cop. It's a fair cop from Unibil. Maybe, just maybe, it being the second leg, and we're now expected to go through. Maybe that gets into their heads a little bit. I hope and I pray that is the case. Leng and Sweet here. I hope you're well, brother. He says Pep away from home this season have been taking draws and their City play more positive at home. That's why I expect us winning. I wasn't expecting us to win the first leg. Yeah, I hear you on that.
I just want to say, the reason I was shaking my head when Terry was going, Man City going through, this is Real Madrid. If it was against any other team, I would be in full agreement. It's just Real Madrid. So we were up 3-0 in the Bernabeu. 3-0. We were 5 minutes away from going through. And Modric does an amazing assist and Rodrigo scores and takes it into extra time. That's what I'm saying. They were dead and buried on the 85th minute in their own backyard. We were 3-0 up. Last year, we were all thinking about Man City, Liverpool, Champions League final, we all hate it, stuff like that. And Rodrigo pops up in 2 goals in 2 minutes. This is, whatever you want to say, Real Madrid is the Champions League. They can have their worst season and they will play their best football in the Champions League.
I hear you on that. Well, firstly, it doesn't bother me that you shook your head while I was talking. It doesn't offend me at all. Like from people that I know well enough to know them. But yeah, look, from my point of view, it kind of reminds me of when I predicted Arsenal to win the league and everyone said, no way. I don't think anything you've said is wrong. I just got a gut feeling that City will go through. We'll do it. By the way, if City only win narrowly, my prediction's wrong. I'm going to start getting really panicky with people about their predictions. I'm predicting a solid win from City. They get a narrow win. My prediction's still wrong because it isn't the way of which I said somebody was going to win. People are doing that a lot of the minute. Oh, we'll batter you. They scrape a 1-0. Told you we'd beat you. It's not what you said, though, is it? You didn't say it was going to be close.
I remember somebody that said that they're going to batter us last year and just came with a loud mouth, and they didn't. But yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
Well, plus City don't have to lose the game in 120 minutes tomorrow. It can go to penalties.
People, there was a super chat here saying there was a super chat. I think it was from Israel again. This one. Yes, I would say this City team in the last 2 months is the best team I've watched in my lifetime for a couple of reasons. They have different ways of playing football. We have seen City sit back, hit on the counter, play long ball, play from the sides, defend well, attack from different aspects, have different routes to the goal. This is why I'm saying I think this is the best version of Pep Guardiola I've seen in my life.
Oh.
I've never seen him have all these plan A, plan B, plan C. Look at him against Bayern Munich. He let Bayern Munich have the ball. You never seen Pep before letting the other team have the ball, and he still won the game, won the tie. Against Arsenal, they came strong, trying to press him, went long. Have you ever seen can you ever in the last 10 years saying that Pep Guardiola will go to long balls? I've never seen him do that before, but he did it.
Do you think, Mo, they say it's not the best because the other 2 teams had
nostalgia.
Messi in it?
Messi's part of it.
Yeah, I think I think it comes down to I think that this City team has to win a Champions League for them to be, because looking the best and being the best are 2 very different things. I had a friend, she married a guy, and this guy to all of us looked like he was going to be perfect. He looked like a cross between Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, had a good job, nice guy, turned out to be an arsehole. So he looked like the perfect husband, but in reality, he wasn't. So you've got to win.
Yes, I agree. They look the best. They're not the best. They haven't won a triple. They haven't won the trophy yet.
I hear you. Nabil here says, Terry, you claimed Liverpool and City best team in the world, but Real Madrid humbled both of them and Chelsea. It's Real Madrid to put some respect. Again, I haven't disrespected Real Madrid by saying I think City will beat them. Nabil, you've done this all season to me. That isn't disrespect. I've said not one bad word about Real Madrid. Stop the cognitive dissonance. However, you're not the best team in the world just because you win the Champions League. They're not the best team in Spain, Real Madrid. They're not the best team in Spain. City are about to win the league for the 3rd time on the bounce in the hardest league and most difficult league to win in the world. I do think they're the better team, but the better team doesn't always win. The better team doesn't. We have seen in all manner of competitions, in whether it's singular sport. I've seen the world's best boxers in their weight categories, the world's best MMA fighters. I've seen some of the world's best teams get knocked out in group stages of World Cups. I've seen that the Barcelona team that's in 2010 knocked out by Inter, that at the time was considered the greatest club team of all time, knocked out of Champions Leagues. So you don't, just because you're the best team in the world doesn't mean you always win cup competitions, Nabil. And equally, somebody predicting that City will beat them isn't disrespect. If you were Barca, who would you root for? The English team. No Barca fan wants Real Madrid ever.
They don't want any other Spanish team to win it. Why would they root for any Spanish team?
Also, Barcelona fans, some of them shifted to support Pep Guardiola and Man City.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah, there we go. Listen, I want to say a big thank you to everyone that's tuned in today. We're back tomorrow morning because we're going to be delving into the news that's broke about Manchester United. First of all, Chris Wheatley confirming that Kim Min-jae is potentially on his way to Man United, with Napoli close to signing a replacement. And the news that's broke that a new two outlets have said different things. One said 5.5, others have said 6 billion. I'm going to go with Chris Wheatley on this one. £6 billion bid from my sheikh, my oil man, my oil daddy, who hopefully will be buying Manchester United. The sheikh, Jassim. We'll be talking about that in the morning, so make sure you're tuning in on that one. Big Steve or Hassan, one of the two is on the show tomorrow. I've got to work out which one because I spoke to them both. I've got to work out their days. And of course, the big match reaction in the evening for you as well. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave and go and sign up now and get shopping at Tops now, because they've got some brilliant cards available. And I get a little feeling, depending on who wins this Champions League, some of these Real Madrid or City cards, maybe even the Inter Milan cards, by the way, could be worth a lot of money in the future. And if you're like me and you're into these collectibles, get on there now. They're very cheap. They're like $9.99 a card, but you can get a little 10% discount. Get on Tops now. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. No, not sugar daddy. Oil daddy. Oil daddy. Oil me up, baby. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon.